And today, incoming border czar Tom Homan is set to meet with New York City Mayor Eric Adams to discuss how the incoming Trump administration plans to execute its deportation plans in the sanctuary city. But Homan also has his eyes on another sanctuary city, declaring Chicago ground zero for the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. And some Chicago residents seem to be ready for change.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution. Or when you took an oath, was it only intended to fight for the 10th and 14th Amendments regarding illegal aliens?
We don't want illegals in our community. We don't want migrants terrorizing our own people. And to have y'all sit up here and say, we have to accept $70 million being given to them when you got black people who are already struggling and need help, it is a disgrace.
Andre Smith is a former Democratic Illinois State House candidate and the founder of Chicago Against Violence. And he joins me now. Andre, good morning to you. So Tom Homan gave us a window into what to expect. He says come January 21st, there will be ICE agents in Chicago looking for gang members and criminals. If Mayor Brandon Johnson impedes those efforts, he will be prosecuted. How do you think residents in Chicago feel about that?
Well, good morning. As Chicagoans, we should be celebrating the season of joy, hope, and love. Yet, under our tree, we find neglect, disappointment. We find $575 million of taxpayers' money allocated to migrants. We are disappointed. Our shelters, our schools, our police stations, our field houses have all become shelters. And we have went through this thing, and we welcome the border czar to Chicago.
Yeah, and under Mayor Johnson, more than 51,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago since 2022, and the city has actually spent $612 million on the crisis since May 2023. And that appears to be what angers residents the most, because that is taxpayer dollars. Interesting that Tom Homan is going to be meeting with New York City Mayor Eric Adams. I mean, talk about a reach across the aisle moment there. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I'm excited, and I'm excited that the mayor decided to sit down with the border czar to fix this crisis. And we look for Mayor Brandon Johnson to also do the same, to cooperate. If he doesn't cooperate, then the residents are really willing to cooperate, because Mayor Brandon Johnson is known not to cooperate, even with his own residents that accidentally voted him in.
Yeah. Well, Tom Homan is getting a much different reaction from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker than he is to Eric Adams, who appears to be welcoming of him coming in and sitting down and talking. Take a listen to what J.B. Pritzker recently said about Tom Homan and the effort to deport illegal immigrants. Watch this.
I'm open to a dialogue with him. I will say that he does not have the authority to do the things that he's talked about. Being a border czar is not an official position in the government, and will be up to the President of the United States and up to the leaders of the Customs and Border Patrol to make decisions about how we'll manage the border.
So he says he's open to talking to him, but that's clearly where the pleasantries stop. I mean, it looks like it could be a showdown come January. What do you expect?
Look, we as Chicagoans, we deserve fairness, accountability, not burdens. We need solutions. So therefore, we're willing to sit down, and especially, I challenge the border czar, just like I did, Fox, when they came to Chicago, took them around to some shelters and things like that. I challenged the border czar to reach out. I stood in the tent overnight. I stopped the bus over at Wadsworth. I went to jail because I understand that, you cannot make illegal legal.
That's a good point. He cannot make illegal legal, even though it appears many people in your state of Illinois are trying to do just that. Andre Smith, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.